Well, good morning, and hello to you. Happy Monday, I guess. This is a short talk in the trailer with the old guy. Uber-tuber-ubers and Uber-tuber-rettes alike, everyone's welcome. Come on in, pull up a chair, we'll have a sit down. I tell you what, I got a lot of kind of gloomy stuff on my mind this morning. It's just, with what's going on around the world and all that stuff, ugh, it's like, uh, it's like diarrhea. It's like, it's everywhere. And anyway, the thing I wanted to mention to you today is I only got a few minutes before I go into work, so I don't want to pull your ears off. Oh, give me my ear back. Um, I was looking at a vid by Russell Brand yesterday on this new FISA thing that went through. This new approved, you know how Mr. Collapse, Mr. Fold like a cheap suit. Uh, the I think his name is Mike Johnson. He's the new Speaker of the House, and he's already shown his true colors. And I'm wondering whether they've got something on this guy, like, shall we say, extortion, blackmail, to help convince him. He's made a complete, uh, he's completely cashiered any confidence that people had in him briefly, and he's just another one of the trolls in the swamp. And at any rate, this new FISA thing that's coming out, it's even stronger than the old version was, and this thing contains provisions in it which are a little difficult to believe if you're an American of say 65 years old, like I know one guy like that. Um, the NSA is going to have sweeping new authorities uh, that would involve. Now, I'm not even sure I'm going to get this right, so please go watch Russell's video. He's got a lady that he's quoting on there, and she's really in the know, and she can tell the story straight. So over here, it's going to end up jumbled. All right, I don't do well on carrying out a blow by blow repetition of what was said. I get the general drift, and then I just kind of mull that over. Basically, what happens is if you have Wi-Fi or routing or electronic, internet type activity, and you own a business, doesn't matter what kind of business. You could be a barber, you could be a plumber, you could be a real estate agent, you could be a guy that cleans up yards for a living. You could do a lot of different, as long as you have that connection into the web, they can essentially force you to spy on people in terms of data and information and turn it over to them uh, with this new law. Furthermore, the thing I think it allows for the business to remain essentially anonymous. So the information that was gathered doesn't have a source code attached to it in further proceedings. That's crazy. The spy apparatus that the government is deploying against American citizens. That's what this is about, and it's called foreign intelligence, right? And so technically, it only has to do with if you, as an American, are involved with, or say, pals with, let's say, oh, I don't know, people who wear strange hats on their head and speak Farsi or something like that. Um, the situation is just really out of control. Uh, I'm just watching this country fall to pieces. The thing is bankrupt. Whoever they are, the so-called representatives, um, recently approved like another 80. That's an eight with a zero. 80 billion for Taiwan, Ukraine, and Israel. And so, but where's the 80 billion come from? The government is broke. The government can't recruit decent military people anymore because they've betrayed the American system. This is no longer a constitutional federal republic, even in name anymore. Uh, and the true blue men and women who would have volunteered to join the military to defend this land aren't joining anymore because they're not defending this land. They're the policies that are happening now are ruinous, and they will bankrupt this nation. And uh, it's like they're courting disaster. There's an old Molly Hatchet song. I like the sound of it, at least. Flirting with disaster. It's pretty good if you like rock and roll. But by golly, they've gone beyond flirting with disaster. I think they've gone to bed with disaster and had several babies by now. And the situation I just wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about is I went to that thing over at the church yesterday, and ostensibly it was about vitality and health in the church and something along those lines. But I remember G.K. Chesterton said something at one point. I hope I'm not misquoting him too badly. Is essentially, if you're fixated on health, if all you think about is health, that's a very unhealthy frame of mind to be in. It's not wholesome. It's not a wholesome pattern for you to be fixated on your health. And so I didn't bother bringing that up to the speaker himself. I had a few words for him and said, well, thanks for coming. And it was a fairly interesting presentation. But I mean, basically, what are we doing in the church? And the answer is a lot of nothing, a lot of nothing. And dealing with the real world that's going on around us, what's happening, and the church should be the one to be saying this. It's sad that you have to wait for an old plumber to bring it up. What we're looking at is not merely a political collapse, not merely just a destructive and disgusting betrayal of our entire American tradition and heritage in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. For starters, the Declaration of Independence. I was thinking about the Declaration. Do you know what makes you a Christian nationalist? What makes me a Christian nationalist? And I was listening to some talking heads on the TV. Now, this is not Russell's show. It was a different program I was watching, a different whatever you call it, on the this same algorithm. What makes you a Christian nationalist, my friend, is that you believe that God the Creator, endued or imbued, imbued, I think would be the right word, uh, mankind, the creature, with inalienable rights that cannot be taken away. These are given by God, not by man, not by a Congress, not by a court, not by a president, not by a dictator or a king. They are given by God, of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, that's a kind of a sketchy outline. You're going to have a hard time backing that up out of the Bible, aren't you? Well, you could get a little, squishy. In other words, when we say God guarantees the right to life, he does make it quite clear that murder and manslaughter and the wrongful taking of life is never approved in his sight. So there's a right for living creatures to exist. I mean, humans. And yeah, well, I guess animals too, but they have a right to exist. Well, life, liberty. Well, where are you going to find that in the Bible? And I thought, well, we're always at liberty. We're always at liberty to call upon the name I am who is. I am that am, the great God. And the name Jesus comes out something like, I am who is salvation. Yahshua is the name. And we're always at liberty to call. I thought, well, yeah, we can kind of squeeze that in. And the pursuit of happiness, I thought, now that's really, you're really going out there left field trying to fish that one in. But I thought, what if we just changed one word, joy? The pursuit of joy. And what is our joy? Our joy is Jesus of Nazareth. He's the prize. He's the goal. He's our heart's ambition, to be near him, to hear him, to thrive under his care and under his shelter. Our testimony is of the one. And so I thought, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the only way those could make sense would be from inside a Christian worldview. And maybe they're not the greatest in the world, and certainly there were elements in the original founding. A lot of those guys were big-time Freemasons and deists and stuff like that. But nonetheless, there's a Christian foundation, the biblical foundation, and that's all just being abandoned like crazy. So what makes you a dangerous person for the NSA in the future to spy upon is that you believe that you have rights that were given by God and not by a government somewhere, not by man. And now that's considered a radical, wild idea. This makes you a dangerous threat, even though the people who have believed that and still do believe that are among the law-abiding, the creative, the productive, the profitable. In other words, they're the ones who build things and make things go. Um, so the world's kind of falling apart pretty bad, and for a Monday morning, that's a grim kind of thought. So I don't want to leave you there, and I don't want to leave me there either. I got to get to work in a few minutes, but I was sitting there thinking today. I thought, boy, we need a good word. We need a word from heaven, which is the living word. Jesus of Nazareth, he is the anointed Christ of God. And when you say Christ, think of christening. Pour oil on someone's head or water on their head. There's an oil upon him coming from above. So there's three offices of the anointed. There's the prophets, the priests, and the kings. He's the anointed one. He is the prophet who is also the Word himself. He's the king who came to serve and die for his people. He's priest, and this is the cross. He became the high priest who intercedes and mediates on our behalf, but he's also the sacrifice, the only sacrifice that we'll do in terms of closing this open wound between us and God. Our problem is him. And so I was thinking, what we need really to understand is that we're looking at not necessarily just a societal collapse. We're looking at a demonic upsurge. The demonic activity is going through the roof. And the church, who should be on guard and being, the advance warning for the people, is she asleep at the switch? I don't know. I didn't hear a word yesterday, not a word Saturday either, about the fact that we're in a war zone. We live in a war zone. But it's not a question of whether we're going to survive or not. And those poor people in Gaza right now, little kids getting blown up to pieces by the Israelis in the name of, they're trying to chase out and kill the terroristas. Well, yeah, I understand that. But this mayhem is getting a little carried away. But even for those folks like that, who are, their homes have been bombed, they have no food, they have no water, they have no electricity, they have no one to even help them. And they're not alone. They have the opportunity to call upon the name, the good word. The good word is he who came, he who dwells with, he who shall never abandon you. And he has spoken for you. He has spoken for you in the Father's presence. And so realize that you are welcomed and you are loved by the Most High. And this changes everything, whether I live or whether I die, whether I live to see the end or not. He has spoken and we are in his care. So the good word is, don't be afraid. If you want to fear something, fear the living God. But in the meantime, we're gonna war with these devils, and we're gonna fight them every way we can in the spirit. We're not gonna go throw around bombs and bullets. We're not gonna go buy people off and intimidate and extort them like some do. No, we're going to declare that the Lord God, he reigns, and his rule shall never end. And so be confident today. The rule of God has not changed overnight. The great and high holy one, he's still in charge, and always will be, always has been, as a matter of fact. And we need encouragement because the world is just so bleak and insanely bad. But you're the light of the world if you trust Jesus. You're actually the stabilizing factor in the community around you if you trust the captain of our lives. He's the captain of life, the captain of reality, the captain of the hosts of heaven, the Most High. And he has spoken life. He has spoken peace, and he has spoken to you today in the Word. Go read the Bible, okay? Just a few words, just a few verses today. Read a few verses. And when you do, remember, this message has come to you from the Most High, and it has been preserved all these years just for you to discover it this morning. Because he knows what you need. He knows you need hope, and he's our hope. And he lives forever. So don't let him get you down. The world is ugly. It's but ugly. And it's demonic, and it's getting worse. You're the one who holds your position and refuses to budge. Christ rules, Christ reigns, and that's forever. So have a good Monday in spite of it all, and see if you can figure out what the heck's going on the job today. Try to, get it done close as you can to right and on time. Maybe both of them all at the same time. Have a good day, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.